Learning how to wake up without reaching for my phone. Learning how to sit with silence and not feel alone. The mirror feels us forward now. I don't look away as fast. I'm making peace with who I am, not who I was in my past. Freedom isn't fireworks, it's quiet, so unreal. It's choosing not to run away from everything I feel. I'm learning how to stay when it's easier to leave. Learning how to hold back down when God still talks to me. I don't need to be rescued, I don't need to be saved. I'm learning how to sleep unsure, and that's okay. Some days to hurt without warning, some nights to call your name. But the ache doesn't own me, it just passes through my veins. I stopped asking what if, stopped replaying every scene. Started asking what I need to finally breathe. I don't rush my healing, I don't shame my scars. I'm allowed to take my time, be exactly where I am. I'm learning how to stay in the middle of the pain. Learning if my heart got bent without breaking again. I don't chase familiar chaos just because it feels the same. I'm learning how to stay with myself and not be afraid. There's power in choosing yourself, even when it feels unfamiliar. There's courage in loneliness when it's no longer desperate. I believe you prove my worth for how much I can endure. Love started feeling like survival, it should feel secure. I'm not rushing to replace you, I'm not filling empty space. I'm not building from the inside at my own pace. And maybe love will find, but later when I'm not asking you to heal me, when I know how to say without leaving me. I'm learning how to stay, even when it's hard to say. Learning how to trust myself, not abandon her inside. I don't need perfect endings to finally be on time. I'm learning how to stay with myself every single day. I'm learning how to stay, learning how to stay. I'm learning how to stay, and that's the bravest thing I've done. I didn't lose my heart forever, I just forgot to hold it once. Staying isn't weakness, it's choosing not to disappear. I don't flinch at memories now, they don't own the room. I let them pass like seasons, like something I outgrew. I'm standing where I left myself, picking up the light. Turns out I didn't need you, didn't break, I change and growth is loud when it's sincere. I bloom after goodbye, not in spite of the pain, but because I learned my value was never yours to name. I don't need love to save me, I don't need tears to prove. I bloom after goodbye, and I finally choose me too. I sing louder than I used to, dance without a plan. I don't make myself smaller to fit in someone's hands. If love comes, it'll meet me, standing in my truth, not begging to be wanted, just open to the view. I don't chase unfinished stories, I don't romanticize the hurt. If it costs me who I am, then it's never worth. I bloom after goodbye, with roots deep in my skin. I don't need your permission to begin again. I don't regret the loving, I regret the delay, in choosing myself sooner. But I'm here today. Maybe love will come softly, maybe love will come strong, but it won't ask me to disappear just to belong. I'll recognize it by the peace, by the way it lets me breathe, by the way it adds to my life instead of taking from me. I'm not afraid of endings, they taught me how to grow. Every goodbye was a lesson, not a failure I should own. I didn't lose my softness, I protected it at last, and that's how flowers survive after the past. I bloom after goodbye, with my head held high. I don't measure my worth by who decided to try. I am love, I am whole, I am not something to lose. I bloom after goodbye, and I finally choose. I bloom after goodbye, and I'm brighter than before. Not because I wasn't enough, but because I know I'm more. Some flowers bloom in sunlight, some bloom after the storm. You said my name like it was fragile, like it could break if you spoke too loud. We were standing in the quiet, between a smile and something unspoken. Your hands were shaking, barely holding all the words you didn't say. I didn't know that gentle moments were warnings dressed as grace. Every glance felt like a promise, every silence felt like truth. I mistook the calm for safety, I mistook the dark for you. We were soft before the storm came, breathing dreams we never checked. I believed in every heartbeat, you were already gone ahead. If I knew what love was hiding in the spaces of your eyes, I would have held on a little loose. traced futures on the ceiling, like the world would wait for us. You said forever like a habit, like a word that meant enough. I was counting all the reasons you were everything to me. You were counting all the exits you never let me see. Every laugh felt like a shelter, every touch felt like a vow. I was building us a kingdom, you were finding your way out. We were soft before the storm came, unaware of what it meant. I gave love without a warning, you gave love with an escape. If I listened to the silence instead of what you said, I would have known the sky was breaking before the rain fell in my head. I don't blame you for the leaving, I blame me for staying blind, for believing love was simple. If I tried a little harder, if I spoke a little softer, if I learned to read your fear. Maybe storms don't start in thunder, maybe they begin in tears. I was standing in the sunlight while you packed away the blue. I kept calling it a phase, you were calling it the truth. Now I hear it in the echoes of the things we didn't fight. Love doesn't always end in screaming, sometimes it ends polite. We were soft before the storm came, I was warm inside your arms. You were already bracing for the moment we'd fall apart. We were soft before the storm came, now I'm standing in the rain, learning love can feel like heaven right before it feels like pain. We were soft before the storm came, and I wish I'd understood. Some hearts break from being held too tight, some break from being misunderstood. Now the sky is clear but colder, and I finally see the truth. Some storms don't come to hurt you, they come to wake you up. You didn't slam the door behind you, you just forgot to stay. Left your jacket on the chair like you might come back someday. We talked about the weather like the air wasn't too thin. Funny how goodbye can sound just like checking in. No screaming, no confession, just the truth we didn't say. Love doesn't always shatter, sometimes it fades away. This was a quiet exit, no drama, no fight, just two hearts lowering their voices so they don't wake the night. You walked out without footsteps, I stayed without a sound. Some goodbyes don't need closure, they just slowly shut you down. You smiled like you were certain, like relief was setting in. I smiled like I was trying not to feel what that meant. You said I hope you're happy, like it wasn't your concern. gently, you don't hear them walk away. This was a quiet exit, but it broke me just the same. 'Cause love that doesn't end in chaos still leaves a scar and name. This was a quiet exit. Now the silence is loud. Some goodbyes don't say a word, but they never let you out. This was a quiet exit, and I'm learning how to breathe without the weight of someone who didn't want all of me. No sound, no warning, just space where love used to be. You started leaving pauses where your laughter used to stay. I noticed how your eyes looked just a second too away. You'd say nothing's wrong too quickly, like the truth was running late. And I learned that love can whisper while it quietly escapes. I was reading between heartbeats, trying not to feel afraid, telling myself that distance was just love in a different shape. There were hairline cracks in heaven, but I called them growing pains. Every doubt I tried to bury left a mark inside my faith. Love was breaking very gently, so I wouldn't hear the sound. Funny how the quiet damage is the hardest to track down. You stopped asking how my day went, started watching when I spoke. Every truth I tried to offer felt too heavy for your hope. I kept shrinking all my feelings just to keep you in the room. Didn't know I was erasing every part that made me me and you. I thought love meant learning silence, thought patience proved you cared. Didn't know that holding on could look so much like fear. There were hairline cracks in heaven, right beneath the painted blue. I kept staring at the ceiling while it slowly fell on you. I was fixing what was broken, you were counting every flaw. Love was dying very quietly before it ever learned to crawl. Maybe love shouldn't feel like guessing. Maybe hearts don't need to ache. Maybe staying isn't loyalty if it costs you what you are. I replay every conversation, looking for where I went wrong. But love that needs a performance was already too far gone. You don't lose someone all at once, you lose them in degrees, in missed calls and fake smiles, and unanswered "Are you okay?" I held on to what we were while you let go of the need, and heaven. Now I see them clear as day. Some things break so slowly, you don't notice till they're gone away. I'm not angry, just awake now. Some damage comes disguised as love. Your cup is still by the sink, like time forgot its role. I walk past all the memories, trying not to lose control. Every room still says your name, even when I don't. Funny how the quiet screams the loudest when you're alone. I'm learning how to exist without waiting for you, learning how to fill the space you never knew you used. These empty rooms remember everything we were, every laugh, every promise still hangs in the blur. I keep moving through the echoes of a life I couldn't save. Some spaces don't heal quickly, they just learn your pain. I sleep on half the bed now, still reach out in my dreams. Habit doesn't leave with love, it just learns how to bleed. I thought losing you would hurt once, I didn't know it'd repeat. Every morning, every silence, every version of me. I don't miss the way it ended, I miss who I was then, before love taught me loneliness and called it amen. These empty rooms remember, even when I don't want them to. They replay us like a movie with an ending I can't undo. I'm not broken, just hollow, like a song without a key. Some hearts don't shatter loudly, they just ache quietly. I'm tired of pretending healing is a straight, clean line. Some days I feel stronger, some days I rewind. I don't want you back anymore, I just want my peace to stop measuring my worth by who decided to leave. Love doesn't disappear instantly, it lingers, it waits in familiar corners, in old favorite days. But one day these empty rooms will learn a different sound. My laughter unafraid again, unbroken, unbound. These empty rooms remember, but they won't forever stay. I'm learning how to fill them with the parts you took away. These empty rooms remember, but they don't define my name. I am more than what I lost, I am more than what remained. These empty rooms remember, but I'm finally moving through, not haunted by your absence, just learning how to be new. Empty rooms don't stay empty when you come back to yourself. Yeah. I used to know my favorite color, used to sing without a reason. Somewhere between love and you, I Stop listening to my breathing. I bend myself into your comfort. Folded sharp edges away. Didn't notice I was disappearing till I couldn't recognize my face. I thought love meant becoming smaller. Thought losing ground meant growth. Didn't know I was trading pieces of myself just to keep you close. I forgot myself loving you, forgot what felt like mine. Every dream I rearranged to fit inside your life. I wasn't asking to be chosen, I was begging to belong. Somewhere in the compromise, I forgot where I came from. I filtered every word I spoke so it wouldn't make you tired. I measured every feeling by how easily you'd smile. I called it being understanding, called it learning how to care. Didn't know I was teaching my heart that it wasn't worth the air. I confused peace with silence, confused love with restraint. Didn't know my quiet suffering wasn't something to celebrate. Oh, I forgot myself loving you, thought that's what love required. I burned parts of my reflection just to keep your world inspired. I was trying to be enough by becoming to you without ever raising its voice. No one warns you self-erasure can feel like a choice. I don't blame you for accepting what I offered willingly. I blame me for not believing I deserved intensity. I kept shrinking, you kept growing till there was nothing left to bend. Love shouldn't feel like self-abandonment just to make it to the end. I don't want a love that costs me every truth I'm scared to say. I want a love that meets me standing, not kneeling, not afraid. I forgot myself loving you, but I remember now. I am not a background character in someone else's crowd. I won't confuse my sacrifice with proof that love is strong. If loving you meant losing me, then loving you was wrong. I forgot myself loving you, but I'm finding her again. Piece by piece, breath by breath, I'm becoming whole, not bending in. I didn't lose